Hello. So I found a interesting difference between physical training and like mental training. I think they have like somewhat similar like biological functions of like your bones, or not your bones, your muscles, exercise, your nerve connections grow stronger the more you do something, the more you repeat something, and your muscle fibers get destroyed a little and they come back stronger. It's a little different with the brain because I don't think your neurons are dying, but they're making more connections, which is similar to the muscle and what it does. The only difference being that the brain, like mental training, does not come with a sense of it doesn't give you those endorphins. You don't get a rush of relaxation after a hard brain workout, a heavy learning session. And how to motivate yourself to learn more, I guess, use your brain more, is tricky because you don't get that automatic response like you do when working out. Whether you're running, lifting weights, pretty much doing any physical activity with your body will be met with a sense of pleasure afterwards, usually. And that is not present in the brain, which I think is a bit odd because, it does make sense evolutionarily, but in a better world, learning would have a similar effect where if you, studied plants in the forest, your brain, it would be nice to give you a little boost of dopamine whenever you take in information that is useful. And now that is a bit difficult because differentiating what is useful information is hard, and it's very context dependent. Muscles or physical training is not very context dependent because we're always going to be using our body. So it does make sense in that point. But it also makes heavy learning quite difficult. Because I spent most of today studying as classes have begun again. And I'm 3 hours and then I take a little break and then another 4 hours and I'm cooked. And my brain is just non-functional because I've been taking in all this information and it was really just a single unit for one class. And I'm already out of it by the end. But that's kind of what I've come to expect. The learning process is day in, day out, making sure you can really understand the concepts that they're trying to teach you. And whenever you start faltering of you've stared at this one sentence for 3 minutes, then you need to take a step back and make sure you're using your time efficiently. Learning is also kind of context dependent, because if you are really locked in, you're understanding the material and it's making connections and you're getting feedback, that is tremendous learning. But if you're just doing a bunch of questions, taking in all these questions and not getting any feedback from the answers you're giving, then it's kind of just going into this senseless void of you could be doing it right, you could be doing it wrong. There's no way to tell. You're just like putting in mental effort. And the feedback part is the most important, I think, nowadays for learning, because there's a lot of technology like that gives you that instant feedback, which is amazing. Like, my parents and their parents never had that instant feedback. It was at least a day where, like, you know, they turn in their homework, then the graders grade it, or the teachers grade it, and then they get it back the day after. But that instant feedback is just like turbo learning. It's incredible. And I think that this, like, differentiation between the physical exertion and the mental exertion is neat. That's about it. Anyways, toodles.